Be ready? Start. With this, I would like to make a few suggestions, nothing very original, but I would like to convey them from my side. Para. First of all, about this National Volunteer Service, I would like this government to kindly think seriously. I would suggest that starting from the officers level IAS, IPS, all class first officers should serve about 5 years in the army. You can reduce the size of the army, you can reduce them to the hardcore and have a sort of army which is needing short notice for mobilization. And to start with, we should go in for this officer class from IAS, IPS, all class first officers, give them a 3 to 5 year period. It will not only give you a standing army for which you do not have to spend direct money, but it will also improve the character of this nation which is decaying very fast now. The same exercise should go down to the level of other ranks. I do not know what sort of problems are there. If there are any problem, at least let this be open to the public debate. Para. The government should appoint a committee to go into this matter, but nobody want even to talk about it. This idea will not only give financial freedom but will also help you in improving the fast deteriorating national discipline and character. The next thing I want to bring to the notice of the government in the same context is the sidestepping of the service persons who retire from the service. We train a person for about 20 years, and when we send him home at the age of 30 or 35 years till he dies doing nothing, they are well trained and later they are being allowed to decay and die. Not only that, over a period of time, they will also become a problem for the nation in terms of discipline and behavior. Why can we not utilize this manpower? I keep on saying this also, but nobody is willing to get this examined very seriously. Some people say it will result in unemployment, but you can save so much money if you utilize this manpower, and you can create fresh avenues for much more employment. Therefore, this idea of utilization of trained manpower is in the interest of the nation. Para. Respected Honorable Speaker, this House is once again debating the situation in Ayodhya. Obviously, the concern of the House not only extends to the problem at Ayodhya, it is in fact a problem created by a set of people who go by political parties' name, who have decided in their wisdom and perhaps also in their desperation to project the issue which they want to utilize as a political instrument to achieve power under the democratic dispensation which this country happens to have today. Para. The second thing is every attempt at finding peaceful and amicable solution which has been made time and again has been deliberately thwarted by the same set of people as is well documented. I do not have to repeat it. Para. The third thing is perhaps they count upon the passivity and the indifference of the people of this country who struggled for independence under the leadership of stalwarts like Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Shri Maulana Azad, and a host of great leaders. They perhaps feel that the charisma, the spark that it had at freedom movement had died down, and on its ashes a reactionary, totalitarian, and fully irrational political system can be built up simply because they have the muscle power. They feel that are portraying the will of the people. Para. They feel that they are going to get what they want, if not through the ballot box on a sleek has laid down by the election laws of this country, the constitution. They will achieve it by prevarication, by false representation, and when necessary, by force of arms. In all humility, I would like to say, you may, in your wisdom, think that is possible, but between you and your so-called ambition, stand the phalanx of people of this country who are not yet prepared to give up what we have been bequeathed by the freedom fighters of this country, by the martyrs of this country, and those who conceived of an India which is not only free from political bondage, but of an India which at least is struggling to free itself from economic and social bondage, and an India where everyone, whatever his caste, creed, or religion may be, has an equal right to flourish and go ahead and reap the fruits of the benefits of his labor. What is at stake today is not what somebody wants to achieve and what he will get. Stop.